early years are full of excitement. It's a time for discovery, filled with something new around every corner. Being an elementary school student means being away from parents and guardians for several hours a day in the safe surroundings of the classroom and school playground. By the time we reach this age, we already know how to express ourselves, and the stories we read together help us to better understand the language we use every day. Most of the time, school is an enjoyable experience. But students aren't always protected from harmful experiences in all parts of their lives. Even small children can have a scary or traumatic experience. At this age, storytelling can help identify some of these experiences. Like this story about Bridgett Bunny.
I have a new character I want you to meet. This is Bridgett Bunny, and she's got a story to tell you about an ordinary day. That wasn't really an ordinary day, and she's so excited about it, she looks like she's ready to hop right out of this book. This is a story about a bunny. Ordinary day, that wasn't. Bridgett Bunny loved ordinary days, waking up early in the morning and seeing the sun streaking down through the trees in her forest. She loved having berries and cream for breakfast and then going down to the pine woods with her friends. Freddie Frog, Chester Cricket, and Sarah Squirrel were always on the way, and they had so much fun together. They loved hearing the crunching sound of the leaves under their feet, and they would often stop and sing with the birds as they passed by their tree. Sometimes they would find delicious nuts and berries to eat. "Welcome, welcome," Wise Old Owl would hoot as they got near the pine woods for the start of school. "Look who's here," he would say kindly. Wise Old Owl was in the pine woods to teach the small creatures the way of the woods. Even though Bridgett, Fred, Chester, and Sarah enjoyed listening to Wise Old Owl, the best part of the day was after school, when they had lots of time to play. "Let's go wade in the creek," Chester chirped. Fred added, "Yeah, we can catch some small fish." Bridgett and Sarah loved to explore the nearby caves. They were a great place for sharing secrets. After supper, a bath, and some stories, Bridgett would snuggle into bed. She dreamed about her friends, and she would smile with thoughts of the next day and all the fun they would have. Bridgett always had sweet dreams. She loved ordinary days, but one ordinary day, everything changed. Something very bad, sad, and scary happened. She felt awful and couldn't enjoy her days anymore. She had bad dreams that often kept her awake at night. In the morning, she'd be tired and cranky. Nothing was the same. She didn't feel bright and sunny. She felt like everything was covered with darkness, and there was no place she wanted to be. She didn't want to go to school in the pine woods, and she had trouble remembering Wise Old Owl's lessons. After school, she didn't want to play in the stream, or pick berries, or find fun things to watch. When Chester would cheerfully chirp, "Let's have a race to the cave," Bridgett would turn and hop the other way. Fred would croak, "Bridge, don't go!" But she'd just hop straight home. Her friends were worried about her. "What's wrong with Bridgett?" they would ask each other. They tried to talk to her, but she didn't want to talk to them or anyone. She was angry and scared because she didn't understand why the bad, sad, scary thing happened. Sometimes she would go off alone in the woods and cry. One day, while she was sitting with her back to her favorite tree, she heard someone coming. She was scared. She wanted to run away, but her feet wouldn't move. Her heart beat faster and faster as the sound got closer. She hid her face in her arms so she wouldn't have to see the scary thing. When she looked up, she found Wise Old Owl looking at her kindly. "Bridgett, we've all been very worried about you. I know something very bad happened to you. Would you like to talk to me about it?" As Wise Old Owl settled into the moss beside Bridgett, the little bunny began to tell him what had happened. She told him how angry and scared she was. He told her that it wasn't her fault, and he reassured her that she was okay now. As they talked, Bridgett began to feel a little better. They walked home together, and for the first time in a long time, Bridgett ate a good supper and went to bed without having bad dreams. The next morning, she was waiting for her friends, ready to hop to the pine woods with them. Little by little, she began to enjoy all the parts of her ordinary day. Sometimes she would remember the bad, sad, scary thing and get a little angry again. But she knew she could talk with Wise Old Owl or her mom or dad, and then she would feel better. Her ordinary days would never be exactly the same, but they were very good again, and Bridgett once again felt sunny.
Language arts projects like writing and storytelling are positive classroom exercises that may help students with similar life experiences. To see what children learn from Bridgett Bunny, let's meet Dr. Bruce Perry.
The most important thing that you can do as a teacher is let children who've experienced any kind of trauma or any kind of loss understand that there is a process that they will go through in the way they feel, in the way they think, in the way they act that is normal. So that there will be times when having a hard time concentrating in school is normal. There'll be times when being really, really sad when you think about this loss it is normal. There'll be times when they might even be afraid, and that's normal. And so if the teacher can help the child understand a little bit about the normal process of dealing with emotionally intense experiences, that will reassure the child. And in fact, one of the most common things that we do is that we predict for children what you're going to experience. We say things like, you know what, there'll be a certain point when all of a sudden, out of the blue, you'll be thinking about this even though you didn't want to. And you'll try to push it out of your head, and you'll try to get it out of your head, and it might be hard sometimes. And then we predict that, you know what, there'll be times when you might have you might wake up at night and realize you've been having a dream about this. Or if it's a traumatic loss of a loved one, there'll be times when you actually walk into their room and you think you might actually hear their voice. And because this does happen, and when kids experience it, they think they're going crazy. But if you tell them that that's pretty normal, that your brain is playing tricks on you. Your brain's trying to help you understand this really terrible thing. And so sometimes it'll play tricks on you, and you'll get scared about what you think and what you feel and what you see.
Children this age may not verbalize that they've suffered a trauma or loss, especially at home. This is why the classroom needs to be a safe place, why teachers need to be aware of behavior that could be masking something deeper, and be aware of what to do when they observe these problems.